Glad you wanted to come.
It meant missing 7 of my favorite Monday night television programs.
You've come to my party. Now I can call you by first name, Nick. You know Mr. Price. Besides, I always forget last names of people I like. Waiter, a drink for Mr. Price. It's a plain seltzer with a squish of fig juice for Mr. Price. Come on, Nick, I want you to meet Chad. Circulate.
I did so read it, Audrey. I read every play that crosses my desk, whether it's submitted to me or not. And I like it. But if it's to be cast, as you say,
Hey, Jude.
Yeah. Yes, Audrey.
I interrupted him when he was on the phone once in 1942. No, it was 1943 because I went out with the USO right afterwards. He was so angry. He called me a brazen, bleached blonde chorus girl, and it's very unreasonable if he's interrupted while it's phone. So why don't you go and find a drink and circulate?
Because she held up production and added another $1.5 million to the budget.
They'll never recoup the negative cost. It's a loss.
Immorality, violence, deviation, poetry. That's what the public wants.
Mr. Hamilton's residence.
I'd like to speak with Miss Anita Farrell, please.
Who's calling, please?
Frederick Brennan.
Just a moment.
Miss Farrell?
Yes, Mr. Brennan.
Look, I am so sorry to bother you at what must be a delicious party. Well, this is awful, Miss Farrell. I hardly know you, and yet I am going to be devastatingly honest with you. It's about the advance, the money for Nick. Would you conspire with me?
Conspire with you? I don't even have it yet.
I know you don't have it yet, but I assume that you're going to get it tonight somewhere. Well, you see, it's like this, Miss Farrell. I just don't have the kind of track record that could induce a writer like Nick to let me produce his play. So I thought, if he thinks I'm advancing the money, well, you know, a producer with money inspires confidence in a writer more than, say, a producer without money.
I don't think an author should discuss money anyway. Ask for it, yes. Discuss it, vulgar.
One more sublime favor. After you've asked and received, would you call me here and let me know? My number is Murray Hill 52099. 99. And ask Nick to call me here when he leaves the party? Good. Thank you, Miss Farrell. I loved you in Sam Scarlett.
Oh, thank you. But what about the common market? Now, my solution to the problem would be if all the nations involved could just somehow manage.
Ah, how come? I let her think she talked me into giving you the 3 months. I bet she could have. Speaking of which, what are you going to live on? Caviar.
I wish you were my mistress instead of my friend, my dear. I'd be able to tell you to stop bothering me and go home.
Chad, can you refuse me anything?
I have a penmanship award I won in grammar school, and I'll die before I part with it, no matter how desperately you want it.
I don't want your old penmanship award. I want $25,000.
For what?
You'll give it to me, won't you?
From the picture, Fat Chance. You go dip in your own account.
Moment of truth time.
Don't tell me you're broke. I happen to handle your business affairs, Lady Bird, and I know.
I happen to know, too.
Know what?
But I haven't any money. I can have almost anything money buys simply because you cover my counter checks and you pay my bills.
How long have you known?
From the beginning.
And for heaven's sake, why didn't you stop me?
You've made it possible for me to live like a star, as they say, long after I stopped being one.
You never stopped.
Oh, yes, I did. But I've never gotten over it, Chad. Living like one isn't enough.
What's all this got to do with $25,000?
I have a chance to do a play. I wanted to introduce you to him, but you stayed on the phone most of the night.
Introduce me to whom?
The writer, Nick Alexander. It's a newspaper drama. It's sharp and it's hard-hitting like Sam Scarlett, only it's a better story. And he's willing to do it for me, specifically for me. And the money is just an advance to keep him going while he's... Writing.
I wish you didn't know that about me.
What?
That I can't stand being hurt. Maybe I will get blasted by the critics. Haven't been on the stage in 20 years.
22. You can't stand being hurt, rejected, refused, depressed, frustrated. You're insecure, unrealistic, and unreasonable. And that makes you a big star. And I love you. Because underneath that fragile, infantile exterior, you're pure cast iron.
She better come up with the money. I already got the leave without pay. Thanks.
Frederick Brennan here. I can't tell you how that tickles me, Miss Farrell. I mean, heaven knows how badly the theater needs a shot in the arm.
I hope I won't need one, Mr. Brennan. Well, come by my house tomorrow afternoon, and I'll have a certified check for you. Oh, should it be made out in your name or Nick's?
Mine, Miss Farrell. Pleasure will be all mine.
Well, will you want the entire $25,000 at once, or in some sort of monthly?
All at once, Miss Farrell. I'll drop by tomorrow afternoon. Yes, I know where you live. And maybe you and Nick can have dinner tomorrow evening. There's no sense wasting time. Fine. Thank you, Miss Farrell. Good night now. She will have cash awaiting me. I will give it to you, and you will begin.
10,000?
No, 5. Oh, but look, a man who's going to be doing nothing but writing for 3 solid months should be able to live quite splendidly on $5,000.
Yeah.
They said I could use your desk while you're on leave, so go leave.
You know what, Twiggy? I can't write at home.
Find a corner table in some disreputable 9th Avenue bar. I'll take pictures of your writing, and if the play is a success, why, we'll sell the whole depressing layout to Gourmet Magazine. You give up this whole cockamamie idea? He can't write at home.
Too quiet. A writer needs noise and a general air of friendly hostility. What a delightful title.
Yes, it's a shame it's been used before. How about intermission? Who's on the board? Boy! Fancy a switchboard.
City room. Mr. Alexander, please. Yes, I know he's writing a play. Tell him I want to invest in it.
Miss Alexander, on 2. Alexander.
Take it away, Harold. You know I can't eat on days I have to put young upstarts in their places. Mr. Alexander, this is Chad Hamilton. Could you come up here and, No, I'll come there. Give me about an hour. Thank you.
On the stage.
May I help you, Mr. Alexander?
Well, I'm not entitled. I'm on leave. Thanks anyway.
Anita Farrell. Has she died?
Oh, no, she's every bit as lively as you or I.
I thought maybe you were going to write her obituary.
I hope what I'm going to write for her doesn't turn out to be mine.
Well, I'm supposed to go to lunch now.
Oh, go ahead. I'll find what I want. Thanks.
She loves spangles. She wore this job in Vivian of the Vanities.
Yep. First featured role, 1928. She played Vivian's understudy.
Well, I hate to say this, but when I was a kid,
She was your favorite movie star. Don't ever tell her that.
I wouldn't.
You like her, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, first this being in the presence of my favorite movie star when I was a kid will have to wear off. I mean, you know, when I relax and get to know her, I think I'll like her very much. What I didn't know is that you produced one of her shows.
3. The last 3, all flops. That's why she went to Hollywood. She was mad at me. So she married him. He ran her fortune into the ground, joined the Navy, and then died at his desk in Washington of a heart attack. Sam Scarlett. She played Sam. Don't laugh. Sam was a newspaper woman with the brains of 8 Spencer Tracy's.
I was smiling because in my play she plays Henry. Hey, where are you going, Mr. Hamilton?
You'll be around later, won't you?
I'll be at Miss Farrell's having what she calls an exploratory conference. If she's nice to me, I'll buy her dinner. Why don't you join us? I can afford it. Suppose it only lasts 3 months, but I never saw $5,000 before, and it looks like it could last 3 years.
5?
Well, yeah, my advance from Miss Farrell. Is that what's bothering you?
Money never bothers me. Anita mentioned some producer being involved. What's his name?
Frederick Brennan. You met him, the kid at the hospital, the one who used my press card.
Where do I find him?
At the Frolic Delicatessen. But here's where he lives. Hey, what about dinner?
We'll talk inside, Mr. No!
Now that you've met the scrub bucket that suckled me, shall we go somewhere expensive and drink good wine?
You can afford the best now, can't you, Freddie?
Frederick sounds much less gauche.
You can afford a cleaner apartment, too.
I always thought successful men cured themselves of the compulsion to talk money, money, money all the time.
$25,000 entitles me to a relapse.
Look at it this way, sir. $25,000 is so little relatively when you consider the happiness it's buying for Anita. Are you really worried about the money? Or did you just get up on the wrong side of your penthouse this morning?
Matter of fact, I got up intending only to short-circuit the song and dance you two had dreamed up for Anita. But as the day progressed, I got a clearer, filthier look at what you were up to. You really think I'm going to stand still while $20,000 of mine goes into your dirty little pocket?
I earned it. It's my package. I got Nick and Anita together, didn't I? You better not tell Nick. You don't want to antagonize me, Mr. Hamilton. You see, I might short-circuit your song and dance. Console yourself with this, friend. Where else can you buy 3 months of happiness at such a low, low price? Miss Farrell's medical report did say 3 months, didn't it?
How did you hear that?
I read it. Terminal illness, 3 months. No more, perhaps less.
Where did you see that report?
You let go of me. Why? You saw her in there. A dirty-kneed cleaning lady. Well, that's how I saw that report. She cleans up after people like you and Anita have had their elegant little examinations. She throws away your swab sticks. And when she drinks on the job, as drink she must, I have to go and get her and drag her home. And when I go get her, I look around and I open files and I read about the more expensive ulcers and hernias and terminal diseases in town. That's my source of information, baby.
You want to be put away.
For what? Opening files? I don't steal anything. Oh, I borrow now and again for a few hours. But you can't say photostating is actually stealing. Well, I don't suppose we'll ever be friends now. But at least we won't be enemies. Oh, you can bet your heart I'd tell her. Gee, Mr. Hamilton, what kind of a human being are you? Let the girl die happy.
Metamorphosis complete. Henry is a woman.